It's Monday. It's okay to be in a hurry today, T-Rex. Go ahead. Yeah, every day. Steve? Yep. TK? Yep. Oh, wow. 59 degrees at 9:16 on Monday, October 21. Still a big moon in the sky. I'm sure we'll be able to see that no problem. Goes the screen slider. So did the heat come on at your house over the weekend? Our temperature got down to about 67 inside over the weekend. Nice. With the thermostat at 63. So no heat was used inside the house. It was a little chilly. And now this is pure gold, Jerry, gold. Let's line up the flag that's not really moving. Happy to report planes are landing toward the west. Again, that means the air is coming from the west. Even though that was kind of the case yesterday, we're still landing toward the east. Let's frame up Old Glory and the Hunter Moon, which is higher in the sky each morning now. You know, all know how that works, right? Hearing some loud hum, like someone's air conditioner is on or something like that. Is that possible? Are we in air conditioning mode already? And all the power boats are gone out of the moorings. It was a good weekend for that, wasn't it? Yesterday was a very busy Sunday. And I think we still have one sailboat. Is that yours, Christian? Left. Christian, our local drone man. And that looks like kind of a work boat. And are we gonna play that game once again this winter where someone leaves a little skiff at the mooring and we watch how long it sits there? I don't know. Anyhow, so we get some power tools going on, and high pressure has moved off to the south. So when you're in the center of the high, as we had been for several days, each night, the temperature had cooled to the dew point. That's why we had dew and frost. But last night, with the air being mixed up, a lot of us did not. And the temperature this morning, just past 7 o'clock, you look at the local temperatures, they're all over the place. The warmest two temperatures, each at 61 degrees just after sunrise, were Worcester, Massachusetts, 1,000-foot elevation, and Burlington, Vermont, Champlain Valley, southerly wind mixing down. And then there were a few places that did decouple. That is, when the air goes still, the cool air sinks down. And even though North Adams is not exactly a valley spot, North Adams at 34 degrees this morning. And so even colder off to the south. Let's look at the surface map. Underneath the center of the high pressure system over West Virginia, it was in the 30s this morning, all the way down to North Carolina. That's that radiational cooling. The center of the high is very little wind, it's sinking air. And then as you move to the north, you run into the isobars, more of a pressure gradient, more of a breeze. And look at the temperature just north of Montreal this morning, also 61 degrees. It's called warm air advection at all levels of the atmosphere, warm air moving in. And today's high temperatures are going to push 80 degrees. Actually, I think a few spots are going to get above 80. If you look at these max mins from the National Weather Service in Boston, this table comes out every day at 8:30 p.m. and 8:30 a.m. And it shows yesterday's highs and this morning's lows. So yesterday was 79 in Norwood, Massachusetts. And we had some lows in the 30s this morning, but also some lows in the 50s. And we go by the thickness rule. So today, if we have a thickness, say, of like 560, we talked about that a couple days ago, you can add 20 on a day with sunshine and a westerly wind. It works better in the summertime, but that means high temperatures today near 80. Here's the Boston 5-day showing the sunshine across the board pretty much. The front's coming through Wednesday night, but today well into the 70s. These temperatures are underdone on the Euro, in my opinion, today anyway. And then tomorrow there is this weak backdoor front, and we are going to get the air to come in from the east, so it'll probably be in the low 60s near the shore. I think the temperature is overdone tomorrow, and still close to 70 or even 75 inland. It's a weak backdoor front coming in. Stop a moment and admire the colors of autumn on all these invasives. It's primarily the knotweed, the green and yellow, and then you have the Virginia creeper, and then you got the what's that stuff called again? I forgot the name of that red and that yellow right there. It's not poison ivy. It's not. It's just slipping my mind right now. I mostly just want to see the beauty in the waves. And so the weather forecast, Jim Cantori called it mundane. He said another mundane week coming up. And I'm saying, sure, it looks kind of boring this week, but to say another mundane week, last week we had all that snow and surf, and it was coast to coast snow. As a matter of fact, it snowed so much, and this is what we talked about 5 days ago. When the snow stops here, it's going to resume in the west. And now we have opening day at Wolf Creek, Colorado. Ski season begins within 24 hours, and I'm sure Arapahoe and Loveland are not far behind. I actually didn't check, but ski season is here now in Colorado, and we'll see some skiing from New England. Yesterday, Sean Vecchione and Katie, they went to Mount Washington, and that made it 6 days in a row. He skied or rode on his board at Jay 5 days in a row, where this morning there's still a little snow left on the mountain, Jay Peak Resort. Wow, that was resilient, huh? Even though it was like 70, 75 degrees there yesterday at the base. And Mount Washington, looking like, how could you possibly ski that? Well, objects in image are much larger than they appear, and those two patches of snow down to the right from the summit are still big enough, or were big enough yesterday, to make some turns. More on that in a few minutes. Interesting, always interesting, never mundane. Depends where you look. I mean, it's always different. There's some Alto Stratus and some Cirrus and solar heating today. The wind's going to be from the southwest. Not too strong, though. It is beach weather today, if you get Mondays off in October. The storm that was south of Cape Cod, what was it, last Thursday, that was sort of a renegade storm on the east side of that record cold high-pressure system, which is now a warm high-pressure system. Anyhow, that storm sank south, as we talked about, past Bermuda, and now is headed toward the Bahamas, where yesterday Hurricane Oscar made a second landfall in Guantanamo, Cuba, and now is going just north of Cuba as a tropical storm. And just to the north of that, that little swirl with the convection and the thunderstorms, that is the remnant of the storm that was south of New England 5 days ago. And guess what? The two are going to merge. Oscar and our old system are going to merge or mingle and form one elongated, deep, low-pressure trough storm center east of New England on Thursday. Let's see how that plays out. I'm going to show this sector in here off of Florida. Those pigeons go by every day, don't they? All right, this tropical sector on pivotal weather, this is the Euro, and you can see that the two low-pressure systems, Oscar is going to go post-tropical and join our old storm, and they're going to deepen into a post-tropical or cold core system, strengthening over the Atlantic Ocean, passing pretty close to Bermuda again, and then well to the east of Cape Cod, but just southeast of where it was last Thursday. This Thursday, here's the map for this Thursday. We've been talking about how Thursday could be an interesting day, and it still looks interesting. I don't think it's a done deal on what's going to happen. Wait till you see the change to the forecast coming up for the weekend compared to how it was yesterday. So let's get to it, TK. Let's show the Euro for the lower 48 and southern Canada. Going forward. Wait, time out. Tomatoes got knocked off. How'd that happen? More in the garden in a moment. Let's finish up this weather forecast. Here we go. High pressure to our south. The gradient is enough for a southwest wind today. And then tomorrow, high pressure over southeastern Canada. A weak backdoor front, so it'll be somewhat cooler. And I think it's dry and it's beautiful. Continued high pressure to the south is going to end up rebuilding again. And the wind will probably decrease a little bit Tuesday. And then Wednesday, here comes that front through the Great Lakes and the remnant of that storm that caused the flooding in New Mexico and heavy snow in Colorado. That's going to merge with the front, but it doesn't look like it's going to enhance the front much as that comes in here Thursday. We've been stopping at Thursday morning quite a few days in a row here. We'll stop at Thursday morning again, and there's the front coming through New England with just a little bit of rain, but it looks like that ocean storm that we just talked about, the combination of Oscar and our last week's storm, is going to generate some gale force wind and a band of rain very close to Cape Cod. So it still looks like they're going to stay separate, but it certainly is more interesting this morning. Windy with a few showers on Cape Cod early in the day. Otherwise, we're all just turning colder, with a chance of a little bit of upslope snow on Thursday morning. And then Friday looks quiet. Wait, what's going on here? Look at this front coming out of Canada on Saturday. Where did that come from? That is a wholesale change. We're going to stop it now on Saturday, where before there was a sprawling high pressure system, even though 2 days ago it did show a tiny little low near Block Island, but there was no strong front anywhere near. There was a weak front north and south, and now it is a strong front right over New England on Saturday, October 26th, the day we're triple booked with the Southern New England Weather Conference, Eldridge Farm Foundation party, and the Halloween party all going on. And it looks like, it doesn't look like a washout or anything, but it certainly looks like a chance of a shower with some upslope snow at some of the tallest mountains, and becoming very windy and much colder on Saturday now, with temperatures only in the 50s south, 40s north on Saturday. Windy, chill. Wow, where did that come from? And I did check the GFS, and it's on the GFS also. So this weekend, all of a sudden, not looking as good as it was. And then we'll put that back into motion into early next week. And then it does look still pretty good here. It was supposed to be a Monday front, but now we've moved it to Saturday, so it looks like we're going to turn warmer, if this is right. I always should say caveat, if the likelihood of a 6 to 10 day forecast on the guidance being right is just barely greater than 50%. And when you see this kind of inconsistency, all bets are really off. But either way, it looks like the trend is going to be for warmer air to come back at us for Halloween, with no sign of that pre-Halloween fantasy GFS cold nor'easter with snow. It had one run a few days ago that everyone looked at and said, what? And you're right, what? Now looks like possible warm to record warm, with a trough in the west and a ridge in the east on Halloween and out into November 1st. We may have weather very similar to today, but adjusted for November 1st. Every week, the climatological temperature is lower than the previous week as we go in towards the winter season. Yesterday, kind of all over the place, and watching the boats go by. It was fun. Watching the Patriots lose. It was a fun day of football, though, in the afternoon. I think I as much liked seeing Tom Brady on TV as much as the rematch of the Super Bowl with the Niners and Chiefs, and Chiefs rule, and that was fun. And then last night, I didn't even check the final score of that game with the Jets. Anyhow, football was fun, but I spent most of my time outside, and every year I go down deep in my worm farm. You know those projects that are on your mind that you know you want to do, but you want to go surfing, but you want to get this project done? Well, I chose to do this project instead of go surfing. I had to clear out some tomatoes from in here and work on the worm farm. Whenever you need a workout, if you have a worm farm, you just come out and exercise. You find stuff that hasn't been seen in forever. And the infrastructure. Jeff, thank you for this post hole digger. That was helpful. The way the Kents built this garden here, with the rebar and the foundation they used, and this thing has got to be over 50, 60 years old. So it's fascinating, and all the worms are in there. So I made a little time lapse of that as my friends were surfing and skiing. Weir was out doing his job surfing off a Gunquit. Thank you, Weir, for sharing. Did you see Weir on Halloween night by any chance? Yeah. What a cute couple. Thanks for sharing all that stuff, Weir. And then Sean Veck, who had gone up in the snow 5 days in a row at Jay. He's not a skier, he's a rider. Went up again yesterday. He went up Mount Washington yesterday to well, I told him I wouldn't say where he went. He was in the presidential range. He found some secret stashes of snow. And so yesterday people were surfing and skiing, and I was working in the worm farm. There's no place I'd rather be than in here. And one of those projects that you just got to get done, and I'm not going to let this garden go until we get frost. So there's still nice looking pepper right there. See it? See the pepper? And tomatoes. And I also have some forensic work I do. I'm a forensic meteorologist, so that's one of the reasons I didn't take off surfing and skiing last week. I got to make a little bit of a living. We're not making a living on YouTube. Happy tomatoes and celery. But we really enjoy it. Work is play, play is work. That's what I like to say. And today I do have a plan. I plan to make some more videos and do some more professional work. And something like this would be in the and more. They're practicing putting out fires near that fire training ground near Logan Airport this morning. And you can tell what the air is doing. It's coming from southwest to northeast. Wind is air moving from high to low pressure. No pressure today. Talk to you tomorrow. Here's the and more. Gotta like that west wind. Patriots in London all of a sudden getting smoked. And let's go find Mitt. Bathing in the sunshine. Hi, Mitt. By popular demand, the viewers want more Mitt. Hi, Mitt the Maine Coon. He's about 11 years old and loves the sun. Who doesn't? That Patriots game was kind of abysmal. Mitt was loving the sunshine. I'm loving the sunshine and authentic land breeze. So I can still feel the coolness off the water, but Boston at Logan should be one of the warmer spots today if we maintain this land breeze. There's a handsome sailboat. Not powered by sail at the moment. Oh, look at this little fleet coming out here. That's not going inland, that's going out on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Reluctant to let boating season end. Not that one. You can also hear the crickets along with the flag flapping in the breeze. You may think that that boat is kind of loud, but it's not. That boat is kind of loud. Planes landing toward the east, even with the wind from the west. Must not be too strong of a wind from the west. Otherwise, they'd be landing toward the west. If you watch frequently, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Raccoon Island. It's called the condensation trail. Perfectly natural. And indicates more humidity coming in aloft. Usually a sign of warm air advection. And that's what we have. Warm air advection ahead of this weak backdoor cold front coming in. That condensation trail made about 20 minutes ago is still there. It's just turned into an actual just regular cloud. Then it kind of blends and disappears in the cirrus. And then it reappears. And this all has to do with the amount of instability, conditional or unconditional, and moisture aloft. And if you pay really close attention, you can learn more about the weather. I think we might have a sundog this evening right there. Refraction of sunlight off supercooled vapor? No. Ice crystals. Six-sided ice crystals. There goes that gorgeous sailboat, which probably just puts the sails up outside of the Fore River and transits through. Relaxing. All right. So the sun, once it gets over that tree and by the tree, illuminates the garden a little bit during the late day for a couple more weeks. So it's time to put the garden to bed. So you want to watch me work in the garden with a time lapse? Not knowing what to do with that tomato vine because it's got roots right in there, but I've got to do surgery on it. I'm sorry, but it has to happen. Up with the theme of the weekend. Good vibes. Greater good. vibes. Pretty, huh? It's good incentive for worm farming. Lots of tools. Just a few of the tools for worm farming. Spade, fork, machete, claw. Good for coyote defense and stuff too. Could you even see me in that? So if I gotta do surgery, be very careful how you do your surgery. Scalpel, patient. Oh, didn't hurt a bit. So what I did there was I separated the tomato that didn't get staked because we had a traffic jam up there with pumpkins. You think I can get this to keep growing? That'll be a little experiment we can do for the next 3 weeks. See if I can keep these leaves looking like they're not frosted or dehydrated. It's not how you start. So this is going to be off screen up there. See it in the morning, which means you already saw it. Supersonic. I think I got about 4 of them because of critters and too crowded and not being careful enough. I probably should do surgery on that basil too, huh? You want basil in your garden next year? Basil. Can you even see that? Yep, save every one of them. Give them all a chance. 2 licks. 3 licks. To get the center of a worm farm. That's a real baby. We get them of all ages. Oh, he's playing dead now. He was just all over the place. You know how your neighbors have those plastic plants? My neighbors lost their plastic plants about 6 years ago due to peer pressure, but I still find the plastic leaves. You know who you are. Sticks come out. Fireplace. Oh, a couple tomatoes. Rescue the tomatoes. Basil. I don't know where it's going. The flowers, I'm so reluctant to snip them because I want to give them a chance to see how far they'll go, but we still have tomato flowers. No frost here for a while. I mean, I don't see any in the forecast. We haven't had one in a long time. It's going to be ultimately moved to the right off the screen. I'm going to widen the screen. Increasing sunshine. So now we can see the celery. Quite the shadow. So once again, if you're just joining us into a 14-minute, mostly real time. I'm going to change the zoom to 1. The worm farm. The freshest compost goes over on the left. And then you work your way. This is probably about 7 or 8 months ago. It used to be this high. I keep kind of shifting it to the right. I'm not going to use the machete on the celery. I don't know the official way to harvest celery. I actually am going to use the machete because I see there's 3 different root balls down there. Never harvested celery. Let's see what we can get. There's a bunch of these. Not bad for an amateur celery guy. I'm just gonna, I'll show you the rest in the morning. Pretty cool. What's up, Doc? No, I ain't a rabbit. That ain't a carrot. Can't do a time lapse if you keep talking to the camera. One more dill root. Now, let's try and make this move. You don't want to see my butt, so I'm going to try and kind of face that way if that's possible. Celery and grate are good. I know I should break my videos up into here. Skunk chow, grub, over the hill. All right, here comes the shadow that I always talk about. Tripping over my own tools. How it got so good so fast. Layers, waves, Jerry, waves. Never too many plastic leaves. So these are last fall's leaves. This is about 2 feet of stuff from last fall condensed into about 6 inches. And I haven't really discovered the mystery of how it happens, but worms appear. That's a good one. All right, I'll put him back. We'll go look at what we just did and maybe wrap this day up, just maybe. Oh my God, my neighbor's going out with a motorcycle helmet on. I'm a little scared. I just got a voicemail from Doug Kent. Worked on this garden longer than I did. So once again, that's the new stuff, and then you get progressively older. That's all perfectly good. I had to manicure some tomatoes and basil. Cup runneth over, that's no problem. And do a couple rescues. That tomato, that long viney tomato right there. And a little dill just for the fun of it, because you know we don't have enough dill, right? Wrong. Look at that fresh tomato. Oh, I can't stop it. That's that. Can we call it a night? Steve is right there. There's Steve's behind. Steve, can you make an appearance? That's enough for today. Thanks for watching. Irresistible time lapse. Yeah, but you can get it with a webcam. Yeah, but it's not as good as the iPhone. Okay, one more. The east-northeast, we'll get a great sunset. I'm not sure which way, so time will tell. Time lapse will tell. Of course, there's more. It's just so pretty. And superstars out here. Regular, everyday star. People admiring sunset. I think we're just gonna watch toward the east as the sun goes down in the west for this color. See if we can see which way the clouds are moving.